Hi everyone. Hope you are in the pink of health. This is Margaret on my Grammar Buzz YouTube channel, Learning Made Easy. Hey, do you know what are we supposed to do in today's video? Well, in this video we will be focusing on a special type of pronoun, and that is relative pronouns. But before we do that, we need to get to know the lesson objectives. So what are we waiting for? Shall we start? And here we go. The lesson objectives for today are knowing what are relative pronouns and identifying them. So here comes our million-dollar question, and that is, what are relative pronouns? Hey, what are relative pronouns? What about them? Can you tell me what they are? No problem. Let us find out what are relative pronouns together. Let us figure out what they are. Well, relative pronouns refer to a noun or relate to a noun that is placed before it. A relative pronoun also helps to join sentences. Well, get that very clear. Relative pronouns refer to a noun or relates to a noun that is placed before it, and they also help to join sentences. So, what are the relative pronouns? Well, the 5 most common relative pronouns are who, whose, whom, that, and which. Well, let us try to understand the use of each of these relative pronouns one at a time. Alright, let's give you some examples. And the first relative pronoun in our discussion list is who. So let's begin with the relative pronoun who. And our first example is, my brother is a doctor. My brother has gone to America. My brother is a doctor. My brother has gone to America. In the given sentence, the noun brother has been repeated twice. So, we can use a relative pronoun here to simplify the sentence. So, what is the pronoun that could be used in place of the noun brother? Well, it is the relative pronoun who. We could say, my brother who is a doctor has gone to America. My brother who is a doctor has gone to America. Note the word who in this sentence. It is a pronoun and it is used instead of the noun brother. It replaces the second noun brother and is also joining the two sentences together. So now, instead of two sentences, we only have one sentence. My brother who is a doctor has gone to America. So what kind of a pronoun is who? Well, who is a relative pronoun. As we already know that a relative pronoun refers or relates to a noun that is placed before it, and they also help to join sentences. And in this sentence, we note that who refers or relates to the noun brother that is just placed before it. The noun brother is just placed before the relative pronoun who, and the relative pronoun who refers to the noun brother, and it also joins the two sentences together. So remember, who is a relative pronoun. Let us look into another example. And our example sentence is, Meera is the best singer in the class. She is absent today. Meera is the best singer in the class. She is absent today. So how can we join the two sentences using a relative pronoun? In the first sentence, Meera is a noun and she is referring to the noun Meera. So instead of she, which is a pronoun, we can use a relative pronoun to join these two sentences. So what is the pronoun that could be used here? Well, we could say Meera who is the best singer in class, is absent today. Meera, who is the best singer in class, is absent today. Who in this sentence is a relative pronoun, as it refers to the noun Meera, which is placed just before it. If you notice, she is the subject of the second sentence. So we can say that the relative pronoun who replaces the subject noun or pronoun of a sentence. So remember, who always replaces the subject noun or pronoun of a sentence. Well, you know what? Yes, we are heading in for a first did you know. And what is a first did you know? Well, it is who is used to refer to a person or people, and who is never used to refer to things or places. That's it. Who is used to refer to a person or people, and who is never used to refer to a thing or place. Remember that? Well, with that, we are about to move on with our next relative pronoun in the list. So let us discuss the next relative pronoun, which is whom. Let me begin with our example sentence. And it is, this car belongs to my uncle. You were speaking with my uncle an hour ago. This car belongs to my uncle. You were speaking with my uncle an hour ago. My uncle is the noun in the sentence which is being repeated in both cases. So, we can use a relative pronoun to replace the noun my uncle and also join the two sentences together. So, we have, this car belongs to my uncle with who you were speaking an hour ago. This car belongs to my uncle with who you were speaking an hour ago. But in the second sentence, my uncle is the object of the sentence and you is the subject. Well, we already know that the relative pronoun who always replaces the subject noun or pronoun in a sentence. So, we cannot use who in this sentence. We will have to use a different relative pronoun for the object position. And what is that? Well, it is whom. So, we can write instead of who, this car belongs to my uncle with whom you were speaking an hour ago. So remember, for object nouns or pronouns, we always use the relative pronoun whom and not who. Remember that. For object nouns or pronouns in a sentence, we always use the relative pronoun whom. Well, let me give you another example. And it is, I met the famous pilot. I had read a lot about him. I met the famous pilot. I had read a lot about him. In the sentence, the pilot is the noun, and in the second sentence, the pronoun him refers to the pilot. Note, him is also the object of the sentence while I is the subject. So we need to use the relative pronoun whom because whom is used to replace object nouns or pronouns in a sentence. So we can write, I met the famous pilot about whom I had read a lot. I met the famous pilot about whom I had read a lot. So remember, for object nouns or pronouns, we always use the relative pronoun whom. Another special thing about whom is that it is often used along with a preposition. For example, with whom, to whom, about whom, and for whom. So, in this sentence, we have used the preposition about with the relative pronoun whom. So remember, whom is often preceded by a preposition. And with that, you know what? We are heading in for our next Did You Know? And what is the Did You Know? It is, whom is used to refer to a person or people, and whom relates to the object and not subject of the sentence. Whom is used to refer to a person or people, and whom relates to the object and not subject of the sentence. Well, you know what? We have our first remember. And what do we need to remember? Well, all that we need to remember is the relative pronoun who replaces the subject noun or pronoun of a sentence. However, the relative pronoun whom replaces the object nouns or pronouns of a sentence. So remember that the relative pronoun whom replaces the object nouns or pronouns of a sentence, and the relative pronoun who replaces the subject noun or pronoun of a sentence. And this is also the difference between the two relative pronouns who and whom. I know you will certainly remember this, won't you? I guess you have quite well understood the use of the relative pronouns who and whom. So, it is time for us, yes, you're right, for the next relative pronoun in our list, and that is whose. Yes, the next relative pronoun in our discussion list is whose. And our example sentence is, I visited my aunt, her daughter was about to get married. I visited my aunt, her daughter was about to get married. Note, in this sentence, her is a possessive adjective. It shows possession or belonging. The possessive adjective her refers to the noun aunt, but we need to replace the possessive adjective with a pronoun. And what kind of pronoun will it be? Certainly a relative pronoun. Now have a look at the new sentence. I visited my aunt whose daughter was about to get married. I visited my aunt whose daughter was about to get married. Here, whose is the relative pronoun that is used to refer to the noun aunt. So, whose refers to the noun aunt. Note, the relative pronoun whose has also replaced the possessive adjective her in the sentence. So remember, the relative pronoun whose is used to express possession or belonging, and it is used to replace possessive adjectives. Well, let me give you another example. And it is, I met my friend, his father is a super cop. I met my friend, his father is a super cop. Here again, his is a possessive adjective that shows belonging or possession. His is referring to the noun friend. It is telling us that the father is actually my friend's father. So it is showing possession or belonging. But we need to replace the possessive adjective his with a pronoun. And what kind of pronoun could it be? Well, you're right again. Certainly the relative pronoun whose. Now have a look at the new sentence. I met my friend whose father is a super cop. I met my friend whose father is a super cop. Here whose is the relative pronoun that refers back to the noun friend. So whose refers to the noun friend in the sentence that comes just before it. And the relative pronoun whose also replaces the possessive adjective his in the sentence, and at the same time it is also joining the two sentences together. And as we already know, relative pronoun whose is used to express possession or belonging, and it is used to replace possessive adjective. Don't forget that. So, we are heading on to our Did You Know? And what do we have to know? Well, all we have to know is whose is used to express possession, and it is used to replace possessive adjective. Whose is used to express possession or belonging, and it is used to replace possessive adjectives. That's it. Isn't that simple? I think it is. Well, with that, you know what? we are moving on with the next relative pronoun in our list, and that is which. Yes, the next relative pronoun in our discussion list is which. Let me explain the same by the help of an example sentence, and that is, she often visits the orphanage. It is in Manali. She often visits the orphanage. It is in Manali. The first thing we need to see in the two sentences is, what is the noun that is being repeated? Well, it is the noun orphanage. Orphanage is the noun, and the word it also applies to the same noun orphanage. So, it refers to the noun orphanage. But we need to replace the word it with a relative pronoun, don't we? Now, we cannot use the relative pronoun who, whom or whose here, because who and whom are used for living things like people or animal, and whose is used to replace possessive adjective. So, we need a different relative pronoun here, because orphanage is the name of a thing. It is a building. It is a non-living thing. So what is the relative pronoun we could use here? Well, it is which. Now have a look at the new sentence. She often visits the orphanage, which is in Manali. She often visits the orphanage, which is in Manali. The relative pronoun which in this sentence refers back to the noun orphanage, which is a non-living thing. Well, let me give you another example, and that is, he brought a shirt, wear it. He brought a shirt, wear it. The first thing we need to see is, what is the noun that is being repeated in the sentence? Well, it is the noun shirt. Shirt is the noun, and the word it also implies to the same noun shirt. So it refers to the noun shirt, but we need to replace the word it with a relative pronoun. We need a different relative pronoun here, because shirt is the name of a non-living thing. So what is the relative pronoun we could use? Well, it is which. Now have a look at the new sentence. Wear the shirt which he brought. Wear the shirt which he brought. Now if you notice, in this case, the order of the sentence is reversed. Wear the shirt comes before the relative pronoun which, and he brought comes after the relative pronoun which. So remember, while using relative pronouns, at times the order of the sentence may get reversed. The relative pronoun which refers to the noun shirt, and the noun shirt comes before the relative pronoun which. Well, what about our next sentence? And it says, we ate spaghetti at least twice a week. It is one of my family's favorite meals. And how have we joined this sentence using which? Well, we have written spaghetti, which we eat at least twice a week, is one of my family's favorite meals. Note closely that we have used a comma after spaghetti and after the word week. So remember, which can be used along with commas. When we use commas, it means that this bit of information, we ate at least twice a week, is not that important. It is secondary. So even if we do not give this information in the sentence makes complete sense. Like, spaghetti, which we ate at least twice a week, is one of our family's favorite meal, which is with the commas. And if we do not use the commas, it will be, spaghetti is one of my family's favorite meals. So you see, the bit of information which comes in between the commas is not that important. So remember that. which can be used along with commas. And with that, we head on to our Did You Know? And what is the Did You Know? Well, it is which is used for animals or non-living things, and which is never used for people or a person. Which is used for animals or non-living things and which is never used for people or person. Remember that? Well, with that you are right. We are moving on to our next relative pronoun in the list, and that is that. Yes, the next relative pronoun in our discussion list is that. So what about this example? She bought the necklace for her sister. It is very beautiful. She bought the necklace for her sister. It is very beautiful. Once again, what is being repeated in the sentence? Well, the necklace and it, which refers to the necklace. And how can we join these two sentences with a relative pronoun? The necklace that she bought for her sister is very beautiful. The necklace that she bought for her sister is very beautiful. So that is another relative pronoun which is used for the noun necklace. That refers to the noun necklace. Remember, that is a relative pronoun which can be used for both living and non-living things. Okay, let me give you another example. And it is, the thief stole the ring. It had a red ruby. The thief stole the ring. It had a red ruby. So in this sentence, we are speaking about the ring. The ring had a red ruby. So the word it refers to the noun ring. Now we need to replace it from the sentence with a relative pronoun. And we can write, the thief stole the ring that had a red ruby. The thief stole the ring that had a red ruby. So that refers to the ring. Well, with that we move on to our Did You Know? And what do we have to know? Well, that is a relative pronoun used for both living and non-living things. That is used for people or a person. That is a relative pronoun used for both living and non-living things, and that is also used for people or person. Well, you know what? Yes, you have something to remember. And what do we need to remember now? Hey, all that you need to remember is that and which can be used interchangeably. Which is never used for person or people. Remember that. That and which can be used interchangeably, but which is never used for people or person. Now let us see how both the relative pronouns that and which can be used interchangeably. Look at the sentence. What did you do with the notes which your friend lent you? And the next one, what did you do with the notes that your friend lent you? So, which refers to the notes and that also refers to the notes. Now, both the sentences are acceptable. Both are grammatically correct. So, we can use either of the two. We can use that or which interchangeably in a sentence. Well, so what is the difference between the two relative pronouns that and which? The difference is, which is never used to denote person or people. It is only used to denote objects or animals. Remember that? Which is never used to denote person or people. It is only used to denote objects or animals. And that might denote people, objects and animals. That might denote people, objects and animals. Another difference between which and that is, which can be used with a comma, but the relative pronoun that is never preceded by a comma. Remember that, which can be used with a comma, but the relative pronoun that is never preceded by a comma. Now let us look at a few examples. Here are a few sentences using the relative pronoun that. The turtle that ate cheese is mine. That in this sentence refers to the turtle. This is the best book that was ever written about World War II. That refers to the book. The boy that gave you this book yesterday is my cousin. In this sentence, that refers to the boy. So all these sentences are correct because that can refer to an animal, object and a person. Now, let us replace that using which. And our sentences are, the turtle which ate cheese is mine. This sentence is correct because which can refer to an animal. This is the best book which was ever written about World War II. Here, which refers to the book. This sentence is also correct, as which can refer to an object or non-living thing. The boy which gave you this book yesterday is my cousin. But what about this sentence? The boy which gave you this book yesterday is my cousin. Well, in this sentence, using which is incorrect. It is grammatically incorrect. It is not acceptable. Because, as we already know, which is never used to denote people. So, this sentence is grammatically incorrect. We never say the boy which gave you this book yesterday is my cousin. But we could say the boy that gave you this book yesterday is my cousin. Or we could also say the boy who gave you this book yesterday is my cousin. So remember, which can never be used with person or people. And you know what? With that, we have already reached our practice time. And you already know it, that the more we practice, the better we do. So let's start right away. And this is how it works. I will be showing you a sentence and you will have to fill in the blanks with an appropriate relative pronoun. So are we ready? And here we go. Well, our first sentence is, the film is about the boy dash sold pizza. The film is about the boy dash sold pizza. So what do you think? What could be the relative pronoun that you would like to use here? Have you already got it? I think you already have, and you are absolutely right. It is who. The film is about the boy who sold pizza. Well, here's our next sentence, and that is, the police caught the robber about dash, there was such a fuss. The police caught the robber about dash, there was such a fuss. So what about this one? Have you already spotted the answer? I think you already have. So let's share our answer together, and it is whom. You're right. The police caught the robber about whom there was such a fuss. Hey, great job. And here we head on with our next sentence, and that is, this is the teacher dash taught me English last year. This is the teacher dash taught me English last year. So what about this one? I think you already have got the answer. You are quite smart, I see. And what is it? Well, you're right again. It is who. This is the teacher who taught me English last year. Hey, great job. Okay. So are you ready for the next sentence? I bet you are. And here it goes. That's the girl for dash we bought a dog. That's the girl for dash we bought a dog. What about this one? Have you pinned it all right? Have you already got your answer? Have you? I think you have. So, what is it? Well, it is whom. That's the girl for whom we bought a dog. Good job. And here goes our next sentence. We have seen your photographs dash were taken in Delhi. We have seen your photographs dash were taken in Delhi. So what about this one? What is it? What could be the relative pronoun that you would use here? Well, you are so right. It is which. We have seen your photographs which were taken in Delhi. Great job. Well done. And here comes our next sentence. It is, a doctor is a person dash makes people feel better. A doctor is a person dash makes people feel better. What about this one? What do you think? Well, you're right again. It is who. A doctor is a person who makes people feel better. And with that, you're moving on with the next sentence. That is, these are the kids with dash the mishap took place. These are the kids with dash the mishap took place. So what about this one? What do you say? Well, what do you have for this sentence? And you're right again. It is whom. These are the kids with whom the mishap took place. Hey, great job. And our next sentence on the list is, the cat dash spilt the milk is lost. The cat dash spilt the milk is lost. What about this one? What do you have for this sentence? And you are right again. It is that. The cat that spilt the milk is lost. Hey, great job. I guess you have learnt the relative pronouns quite well. And with that, you know what? We are moving on with our next sentence. And that is, the photography course dash he chose will give him success. The photography course dash he chose will give him success. What about this one? What is your choice of relative pronoun for this sentence? Well, you're right again. It is that. The photography course that he chose will give him success. You are doing quite well. And we are already nearing the end. And our next sentence is, the man dash daughter won the tournament is a tennis coach. The man dash daughter won the tournament is a tennis coach. So what about this one? What do you think? What is the relative pronoun that you would use for this sentence? And what is it? Well, you're right. It is whose. The man whose daughter won the tournament is a tennis coach. Well done. And the next sentence is, I saw a man dash was at least 7 feet tall. I saw a man dash was at least 7 feet tall. So, what do you think about this sentence? What about this? And I bet you are right again. It is who. Congratulations, you are right again. I saw a man who was at least 7 feet tall. And with that, we come to our last sentence. And that is, she didn't know to dash the book belonged. She didn't know to dash the book belonged. What about this one? And you are so very right. It is whom. She didn't know to whom the book belonged. Hey, you know what? You did a marvelous job. And I really hope you enjoyed this video and you have also learnt what are relative pronouns, how they function and how to identify them. If you have any questions and all, you know what to do. Just pop them in the comment box and I'll get back to you. Thanks for watching this video and staying along with me. Well, don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe to my channel. Hey, don't forget to hit that bell icon so that you might get notifications whenever a new video is uploaded. Until the next time, take care of yourself. And this is Margaret signing off for today. Hey, bye everyone.